Hi, welcome to Real Deep. Oh my God, guys, I am so excited to share this podcast with you. It has been in the works for over a year, so I'm so happy that it is finally yours. I called this Real Deep because I truly believe that the secret to living your best life ever is by operating in a place of true authenticity and consistently going beyond the surface of your experience. So essentially, getting real and getting deep. Having that deep understanding and the ability to be super real with yourself is simply the best way to do it. Like, it's just what takes you to your best life. And honestly, not everyone is ready to go there, because being really real and getting really deep means that you have to confront parts of yourself that you might not necessarily be comfortable with, or sitting in emotions that are definitely not easy to sit in. Like, being real means that you're going to see a lot of unpolished parts of yourself. I'll say unpolished parts of not only yourself, but like the people around you. You can't, once you see that truth, you can't unsee it. So it's not easy work, but it is the most fulfilling work I've ever done in my life, and it has made me the happiest I've ever been. I have also been in therapy for almost 20 years, which is genuinely insane for me to say. I feel really old saying that. I am only 27, but I was lucky enough to start therapy at 8 years old. So that will do something to your brain. Of course, I'm not a therapist myself, but I do believe that I have a strength in going to the core of things in a way where you can only really know if you've done it like a million times, and I have absolutely been forced to do that a million times. Sometimes you just need to hear it in a way that clicks for you, so hopefully we get a little clickage going here. And one thing about me too is that I don't sugarcoat. Sorry about it. No, I just tell you how the fuck it is, because I truly feel like that's, first of all, the most respectful way to do it, because why would I beat around the bush? Why would I waste your time? And also, like, I want to live in the real world, okay? Like, I'm sorry, but I would much rather sit in uncomfortable feelings for as long as I have to than to live in like this fake world just because I have some surface level comfort, when at the core of it, I'm always actually a little bit unhappy, or I'm always wanting something more, or something always just feels off. Yeah, that's because you're not being truly you. Like, you're not living in the real world. You are living in a comfortable world that you've told yourself so you don't actually have to go that deep. Guess what? Happiness, true happiness, is on the other side of going that deep. Sorry about it, but that's the truth. I will say, if you want to get anything from this podcast, you have to lean in and you have to trust me. If this is going to be something that you're like, yeah, like I could do that, but I don't know, maybe it's just like not for me. Like, yeah, that sounds good, but I don't think it works like that in my life. If you're not willing to trust me, if you're not willing to try it, if you're not willing to see it through, this is not going to help you. And honestly, girl, nothing will. I'm sorry, but you have to have the mindset of like fucking around and finding out if you want anything to help you actually at all. So like, yes, there are going to be some concepts that I present that might be difficult for you to grasp, might be difficult for you to believe me that it works. But if you don't try it, if you don't like fully go for it, you can't, you only have yourself to blame. I'm so sorry, but it's true. So lean in, trust me, just fucking try it. Like, even if you think it's stupid, just at least give it a go, okay? If it doesn't work, that's fine. But you can't say it doesn't work if you didn't really try. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm excited, guys. We're going to get into it in just 1 second, but I am going to let you know that at the end of every episode, we are going to have a little bit of an advice portion, because like I said, I don't sugarcoat shit. So if you want some real advice, if you want me to cut to the core, please submit your questions. You can do that by commenting them. You can do that by emailing realdeepproductions@gmail.com. There's also a Google form in the link in my bio in every single social media platform that I have. So you can try it that way too. But we're going to do an advice portion. So be sure to stick around for that to see if yours was chosen. And from time to time, we're going to have a little phone a friend section. Not this time, but just now, we're going to have a few guest appearances sometimes. So, okay, let's get started. For our first episode, I'm going to break some shit down for you, okay? And I'm sorry, but if you want to change literally anything at all for the rest of your life, you need to know this. And I know that sounds dramatic, but I'm dead fucking serious, bitch. I really am dead serious, because I'm sure you've listened to self-help content before. Like, I'm sure you've had great advice given to you before. So why is it not sticking? Why is it not working? Could it potentially be that you don't know how to apply it to your life specifically, and the ways in which you've been trying to apply it to your life aren't actually sustainable? They like feel really good for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then something happens and you feel like shit again. You need to know how you personally respond to change and how you personally like react when you are trying to change something about yourself, like changing a habit or literally anything. You need to know what your personal change cycle is. I came up with the idea of a change cycle because sometimes when you're trying to change your life, it literally can just feel like a cycle. Like you start out super motivated. I'm so excited. I know I can do this. It's about to change my life. I'm so lit for this. Fuck yeah. And then you like start doing it for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And then something happens and maybe we fall off a little bit. We try to get back on. We fall off again. And then we just kind of like stop. And then we start to feel like shit about ourselves because what the fuck, I can't do anything right. What the fuck, I can't, like, why can't I do this? Why is everybody on the internet able to do this? Why are all my friends doing better than me? All the people I don't even know doing better than me, and I can't even do this one thing? Yeah, girl. And then it starts all over again. And then you like just feel like shit about even trying after that. So you don't until you get inspiration again. And then you do the whole cycle again. So it low-key is a cycle. I'm always going to start every episode that we talk about by talking about being aware of where we're currently at, because you cannot like think about when you're on a map. Think about when you like pull up GPS, right? If you're trying to get to your friend's house, you need to know where you're starting. Like you need to know like where you are now, or the directions that you're given are going to be completely useless. Like you have to know what is truly going on, and you have to be real with yourself with where you are, because maybe you want to be like farther along, but maybe you're not. Sorry, but like you can't start from a fake starting point. Like you have to start in reality or you're not going to get reality results. Okay. So we're going to start with awareness. So right now we need to identify the patterns. So what is your typical cycle? Let's talk about it. Do you change drastically for a week and then fall off and then shame yourself for it? Do you change slowly for 2 weeks, but then something happens and it takes you a while to get back into it? We need to know what we currently do, and we need to include the emotions that come with every phase. I hate so deeply how much this society and this world like talks about emotions as though they're a bad thing and as though they're like something you should push to the side and just keep going. Because if you push it to the side and keep going, you're again not operating in reality. Because like your emotions, shocker, are a part of reality, and they low-key can dictate your reality. Hate to say it, but I also don't, because that's just simply the truth. So you definitely need to include the emotions that you have in these cycles if you want to be aware of how your emotions impact your cycles and how your cycle impacts how you change. Your emotions at the end of the day are there to tell you something. And I know it sucks to feel them. Like if you're feeling shame because you fell off, if you're feeling anxious because there's a lot to do and a lot to change, like those emotions, yes, of course, it sucks to sit in them, but you have to. You literally have to if you want to change anything at all. Like you have to become comfortable with feeling those emotions in not just this scenario, but like literally life. If you ever want to get to the bottom of why you feel that way and change how you feel, like that's just, I fear how it works. So if you try to ignore those emotions, you're ignoring the problem and you're ignoring reality. Okay, that's just what's happening. Sorry, bitch. I don't make the rules. I just tell you what's up. Okay, let's jump into it. So the change cycle in my mind is in 4 sections. The first one is the initial motivation. The second one is resistance. The third one is the breaking point. And the fourth is recovery. Let's start with the first phase of the change cycle, which is initial motivation. This can come in so many different forms. It can literally come from anywhere at any time. Like you could get some really good advice and be like, oh shit, like I should so do that. Or you could see one of your best friends like accomplish one of their goals and you could be like, oh my God, wait, hold on, I can do this too. Or you could see somebody on social media like literally living their dream and you're like, damn, if they can do it, I know I can't do. Okay, so it can come from anywhere. Typically, emotions that come along with this is happiness, like excitement, inspiration, all good things, right? For me, my initial motivation phase looks like, oh, I'm a brand new bitch. No one can stop me. Actually, you've never even met me before. I'm not only about to change my life, but I'm going to change your life because it's going to be so revolutionary. You don't even know what's about to hit you. I just like feel like I can do anything, like try me kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? That's how mine is, which can feel like a really good motivational high, but it also, I fear, is like a little bit unrealistic. So what do you do when you first are implementing a change? Are you the same way? Are you like, holy shit, I can literally do anything and be anyone I want ever? Bye. Thank you. Or is it more like okay, hold on, let's plan this shit out? Like, are you more like type A, like it's giving Virgo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you organized and like constructing the life plan of your dream? Like, you know what I'm saying? So how does that impact you? Take a second, think about it. Okay. Like, actually think about it, girl. Pause this right now. I'm dead serious. Take a look. Take a think. Okay. Take a think. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. Take a think. The second phase of the cycle is resistance. This is when you kind of stop riding off that initial high of the initial motivation phase and you start having to deal with reality again. This is when you start to be like, oh my God, wait, okay, low key, this might be a little bit harder than I thought. There is more to life than just this one thing I'm trying to change. I do also have to work. I also have school. Like, I also have friends and a relationship and a life and family and like all these things. Yes, you do have to balance it all. And emotions that can come with this phase can be feeling anxious, like you don't want to let yourself down, feeling a little bit discouraged, maybe feeling like, okay, wait, can I actually do this? Like a little bit of self-doubt might creep in there. You might feel like you just have to power through it, and then you end up neglecting some of your other needs. This is arguably one of the most important phases of the change cycle, because this is when things start to change. So this is when you need to start to be a little bit more aware. The third cycle is the breaking point. And this one is kind of obvious, obviously. It's where something happens. Like, it's not just a little blip. It's not just a little, oh, fuck, I like fucked up for a day or two or maybe three. Like, it's like, okay, we have gotten off track now. It's gonna take a second to like recalibrate and like come back together and get our shit together again. Emotions that can come with this could be just feeling super overwhelmed or panicky. You can start to feel that imposter syndrome kick in really, really hard. You can be like, okay, wait, hold up. Like, can I actually do this? Am I just like genuinely like trying to change my life, but that's not actually me? Like, this is when all of those thoughts really start to hit you, like kind of a lot. I know my breaking point is quite extreme. To be honest with you, my breaking point is like, what's your problem? Like, you can't do anything that you want. What is the issue? Why can't you be consistent? Like, I'm actually low-key like kind of mean to myself, and I am realizing that as I'm speaking out loud right now. So that is something I need to work on. But you might be telling yourself something like, oh my God, I knew I couldn't do that. You might not be telling that like to your face, but it could be at a subconscious level what you believe. And going hand in hand with that, this is also the phase of the cycle where people can tend to reinforce a lack of self-trust, which is really unhealthy. Like, basically being like, oh, I knew I couldn't follow through. Oh, I knew I couldn't do this. Like, those things are telling yourself that you can't trust you. You cannot trust that you have the ability to do this, that you are responsible, that you're going to take care of you. You're reinforcing not only the fact that you can't trust yourself, but you're reinforcing that you can't like be safe with yourself, if that makes sense. Because like, if you can't trust what's going to come from you, then at some level your body's not going to feel safe. So this is a very, very important phase. A lot of the time when we let ourselves down, it can really greatly impact the feeling of trust that we can do something again in the future. So this does actually lead into our last phase of the cycle, which is recovery, because the things that you tell yourself in the breaking point are probably going to lead into how you go about recovering from the burnout or the breakdown or anything like that. Like, if you're telling yourself, oh my God, I knew I couldn't do it, your recovery phase is probably going to look like you shaming yourself. And the way that we go about the recovery phase really greatly impacts how we feel about deciding to change something in the future. So if the recovery phase is riddled with shame, then you're not going to feel like you can start again. Like, it's not like you're going to be like, oh, okay, like, just give me a break. Like, let me just start over. I'm so like, I definitely can do this. Like, if you're living in this shame in the recovery phase, how do you think that's going to set yourself up emotionally to start something again? Do you think you're going to just immediately be like, oh my God, I can definitely do this again? Or do you think you're going to have to take a second to build yourself up, hype yourself up, stop feeling bad about yourself to even think that you can try again in the first place? Because I fear it's the second one. Sorry, but like, if you're telling yourself that you can't do this, if you're telling yourself that you fucked up, you are not setting yourself up for success. Sorry, you're just making literally the process fucking unbearable for yourself. Like, that's what you're doing. And you may think that you're disciplining yourself. You may think that, oh, well, if I shame myself into this, like, if I feel bad enough, then like I won't do it again in the future. Wrong. You are just attaching a negative connotation to change in general. And not only that, but you're attaching a negative connotation to how you change. You're making it personal towards yourself in like a negative way. Okay, vibe check, everybody. How are we feeling? Are we feeling good? If we're feeling good, slay, love that. If we're feeling overwhelmed, that's okay. That's fine. This is what getting real and getting deep is. Okay, we're going down to the basics of the basics. We're ripping out the fucking flooring. We're going down to the foundation, girl. We're seeing everything. Okay, so yeah, it might be overwhelming. You're seeing a lot of things that maybe you haven't seen before. You're having to process a lot about yourself that maybe you didn't know of before. But if you go down to the foundation, you see what's up, you can now build the strongest foundation you've ever fucking seen. Like, if you see what's up now, you know exactly what to reinforce. You know exactly what you need more help in, like all of that kind of stuff if you get down to the root. So you're doing a really good job. Thank you for doing this with me. Okay, now that we've taken a little breath, we are going to move on. Okay, so maybe you want to do a little refresh if you want. Remind yourself what the phases of the cycle even are. We have initial motivation, resistance, breaking point, and recovery. Okay, so if you want to take a listen, go for it. If you feel like you're good, let's go. I'm going to give you a little example of what my change cycle used to be and what it still can be sometimes, because I'm not perfect and I'm still trying. Okay, I'm still doing my best. Thank you. I'm a human. Thank you. And then also an example of, let's just say like my ideal change cycle, because I am still getting there. You know, I think we all sing. I think we all are. So yeah. So my initial motivation phase, like I said before, not gonna lie, I feel like I'm fucking God. Like I feel like I can do anything. I feel like I hold the power of all of the power that's come before me. Like I don't even know. Like I literally just feel like I'm on top of the world. I feel like I can do anything. And it is such a heightened emotional state, to be honest with you, that I just channel into action, and it honestly feels really good. Like I love the initial motivation phase because I feel like I can do anything. But then the resistant phase comes along. This to me looks like I went to bed late one night, or maybe 2 nights or 3 nights, and so now my routine for the next day is a little bit fucked up. So if I'm trying to go to the gym in the morning, but I went to bed at like 11:30 and I'm trying to be up by 5:30, yeah, girl, that's not happening. No, I'm sorry. I cannot get less than 7 hours of sleep. It is so annoying, but it is true. My body will not let me. So instead of going to the gym in the morning, now I have to go after work. So now what I had to do after work can't fully get done. So now I'm staying up late again. See what I'm saying? So feeling the resistance, feeling discouraged, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like I'm like getting ahead of myself is basically my resistance. And then my breaking point is I stopped going to the gym. I am now up until like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and I'm just like doom scrolling. This is now like, I just like haven't even tried in like probably a week or 2 or 3 or maybe 4. These emotions for me, honestly, bad. Just like, I can go to such extremes. I feel like maybe I'm just like not cut out for this or something like that. Maybe I'll never get to my goals, like all that kind of stuff. And then the recovery, this is again, the unhealthy change cycle. The recovery can look like me just like feeling bad about myself, like me feeling like maybe I'm not capable, low-key second guessing like if I have what it takes to like accomplish my goals, which sucks. That is my obviously least favorite thing to feel. Like who wants to feel that? Duh. So if that sounds like you, girl, I get it. If you have a little difference, that's totally fine too. Hopefully you do, because that's not healthy. But before we move on into the healthy change cycle, we first have to lock in again. Yes, I know. I fear we must. Okay, lock in. If you locked out, bitch, lock back in. Okay, we need to focus. If your change cycle looks anything like mine or is also unhealthy, if you're trying to change it at all, we need to focus on the longevity of the cycle and not just the experiences as individual experiences, if that makes sense. So of course they are individual experiences, and that is also valuable to view them as such. However, sometimes you just need to see like what is happening so you can like change what's happening. You know what I mean? And before we're even able to do that, we have to be aware of what our own change cycle is, right? And if I'm not mistaken, you know a little bit more about your change cycle now than you did beginning of this episode. Am I right? I feel like I kind of am. That's literally the purpose of the fucking podcast. So if it wasn't true, I'd be kind of sad. So if you are aware of what your change cycle is now more than you were at the beginning of the episode, I need you to know that you are already so much farther than a lot of other people. And that's no tea, no shade. That's just to say, self-awareness is incredibly powerful. Self-awareness is so vital to literally every single thing that we do. It is a huge part of anything I talk about on this podcast. Because like I said in the beginning, the whole GPS shit, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know where you are, you will get nowhere. And if you get somewhere, it may not feel like it's yours. It may not feel like you know where you are. You might be more confused than you were in the first place, because self-awareness roots you in reality, and it roots you in what to do next. Like, it is a practice, honestly. It's a daily practice, and we're going to have to do it till the day we die. And the more comfortable you can get in that, the better. But like I was saying, the fact that you have this self-awareness now of where you're starting, girl, this is about to be so much fucking easier for you. Now that you know where you are, okay, all we need to do now, we just need to build a fucking map. That's it. We just need a plan. That's literally it. Being aware of your patterns in any context whatsoever is so huge. There are so many people who walk around this world not knowing literally anything about why they're where they are. Like, they don't know what their patterns are. Some people haven't even gotten to the point of wondering why they do what they do. They don't even know what they do. Like, they haven't even gotten that far. And one thing about bringing this to your awareness for the first time, the next time this happens, you're gonna be like, oh my God, wait, that's what we were talking about. And you will be surprised that your brain's natural instinct to being like, oh my God, wait, we talked about this, is to naturally course correct. That is what happens. Like, I don't think people understand just how powerful self-awareness is, because when you are aware of something that's happening and you're like, oh shit, that's one of my patterns that I'm working on. Of course, yes, it's important to know how to take the next steps, to know what behaviors to change, like all of those things. Yes, of course, it's important. However, it is actually so much more natural to you to fix that problem than you would think it is. Like, your brain will just automatically go into problem solving mode immediately. It'll be like, okay, wait, fuck. Okay, yes, that's right. I need to slow down. Like, that's what we were talking about. It just comes to you. Like, that's what being self-aware is. And once you are self-aware and this does happen to you, the trust that you build in yourself to know what to do next shocks you. Like, you'll be like, wait, fuck. I low-key just did that. And even if you didn't do it, you know what to do, or you know more than you did before. And it's like, I don't know. Self-awareness is just genuinely such an insane tool. Like, I don't know. It's so sad that so many people on this earth don't possess it, but that's a different story for a different time. That's why people don't fucking change, though, because you actually have to be real with yourself. Like, you actually have to look at these parts of yourself that maybe aren't exactly what you want them to be, or maybe they elicit some uncomfortable emotion. So many people like deny self-awareness and deny change simply because they don't want to look at themselves, which is crazy, because yes, of course it's fucking uncomfortable, but it's far less uncomfortable than living the life you don't want to live. Sorry, but it fucking is. And so, like, yeah, maybe it's hard to look at, but like, I'm forcing you to look at it. You're welcome. So now that we know where we're at, the next step is to create an actual manageable plan. Okay. Not one that's like super cunty and cute and will work immediately and make you feel super good and have that immediate satisfaction that you want. No, you need something that is sustainable and realistic, because if you want to accomplish your goals, you need to make a plan that is built to help you succeed over and over and over again. So this looks like giving yourself small, manageable goals that you know you will succeed in doing. Like, my to-do list today was go through a basket that has like a ton of random shit in it.
That's
and
it.
put my laundry
I'm not trying
away
to change the fucking
and
world
get this
in a day.
episode done.
That's it.
I am not trying to fucking change the world in a day. You really can't, because I would much rather cross everything off my checklist and then do something extra than look at my checklist and be like, damn, I didn't even do half of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's psychological. You have to set yourself up for success. If you don't, you're going to be operating from a place of doubting yourself and your abilities. And when you're in that state, you're not operating in authenticity anymore. You're operating in fear. So you can't possibly know where you are if you're not even operating as yourself. You know what I mean? So instead of looking at yourself and being like, why can't I win? You're looking at yourself and you're being like, damn, winning is low-key kind of easy. Which mindset do you think is going to foster growth and confidence? Think about it. Like, I don't know. This might be hard. I don't know. Probably the one where you're being fucking nice to yourself and you're giving yourself every single opportunity to succeed. So yes, it may not feel like you're accomplishing as much, but you are accomplishing everything you said you would. So you're building trust with yourself too. So your plan for changing your change cycle or making it more healthy consists of making bite-sized goals that you know you can accomplish and creating a plan for what to do when resistance comes, because it will come. Promise. Life will happen. You need a plan for when it comes, because it absolutely will. If you make running into problems a part of your plan, it feels a lot less scary. Then it's not like, oh, fuck, what do I do? It's like, oh, okay, like I knew this was coming. Okay, what's my plan? You know what I'm saying? Also, think about what resistance looks like to you, because some people might have an off day and be fine. Some people might have to like start over after one off day. So just take a second, think about it. But for me, what has been really helpful for like, I guess you could say like healing the resistance phase happens before the resistance phase starts. You know, when I said like my initial motivation phase feels like I'm literally God and I can do anything. I can conquer the world in 30 seconds or less. Yeah. So obviously that's not a sustainable feeling. So I've had to train myself to take that emotion and like expand it. Like instead of feeling it all at once, I tried to stretch it out. So I don't honestly let myself feel it for too long, because I want to feel it again after that. So if I allow myself to just sit in that insanely good emotion for like 3 days at a time, it's not going to last as long as, okay, I'm going to channel this emotion right now into action and do something towards my goals right now. And then I'm going to stop feeling it, because then I want to feel it again. Like then of course I want to feel it again. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, great, cool. You can feel it again, just like not until you do it again tomorrow. Not until you're consistent, girl. So like you can't feel this really, really good feeling again. Like, of course you can be like, oh my God, yay, I did it. Like I'm feeling so good. Duh. But if you can take that emotion, like that concentrated emotion, and stretch it out, it's a lot easier to keep consistent. It is a lot more sustainable. And the tea is that if I do it this way, then I'm like kind of approaching it in like more of a casually emotional way, not an intensely emotional way, so that when resistance does come, it doesn't feel like, oh my God, like what the fuck do I do? Like, oh my God, like no, this is a vibe killer. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like that. It just simply feels like a problem that I have to fix, you know? See how these emotions are so important? If we weren't thinking about the emotions behind this change cycle, like you're missing, I swear to God, like 75% of it. Like emotions are so important. And if you can't allow yourself to feel them, and you can't allow yourself to be super real and get really deep, you're not going to be able to make this as consistent. You're not going to be able to get real enough to make long-lasting change and to like do yourself justice. Because think about it too, like just by changing the way I think and feel about it, I'm not even talking about action yet. I'm literally just talking about emotions and mindset. Just by changing that, I have now changed, literally, I have given myself a completely different starting place, a completely different way of going about this change cycle that is so much healthier, obviously. But okay, so let's go back to the actual like plan. So when resistance comes, right, you are now dealing with different circumstances than you like started the cycle out with. Something changed, something's different. So you can't use your old plan of attack, okay? You have to change it. The things that you were doing before are not going to work in the same way because you have a new circumstance. So you have to alter it. And also there's different levels to resistance. So like maybe you're just having like a hard day and need to just course correct a little bit, but maybe your entire life just changed and you have to like completely redo the whole thing. So assess where you're at and act accordingly. The point is to just make this the resistance phase and not allow it to escalate to a breaking point. You want to go back to that initial motivation. You want to go back to, feeling good about it, getting in the groove of it. Like you want to make this thing temporary and not a spiral. And the tea is, this is honestly a lot easier than you would think. It's genuinely just like taking a second, like taking a pause and being like, okay, fuck, wait, hold on. What's going on? And it's reminding yourself that the goals that you have for yourself need to be accomplishable, okay? And I'm not saying that you can't do anything you want. I'm not saying that you can't like do anything you set your mind to, obviously. But what I am saying is that if you now have new circumstances, you might have to be a little bit easier on yourself until the circumstances get easier. Sorry, I know it's not what you want to hear. I know you want to be able to do it all the time, but that isn't realistic. And remember, if you're not operating in reality, girl, there's not much I can do to help you. Like you're just going to get results that aren't based in reality. Like it's going to suck. It's going to suck. So you have to be honest about where you're at with yourself and what changes that you implement are like, doable. So for instance, if we use my example of like going to the gym and I stayed up late one night, okay, honestly, I have to take a look at myself. Am I going to go to the gym after work and then fuck up my schedule for the rest of the day? Or am I not going to go to the gym? I'm just not going to go to the gym because I still have shit to do after work. So tonight, instead of going to the gym and trying to fit every single thing in, I'm just going to do what I need to do. I'm going to make sure I go to sleep at a good time, and then I'm going to wake up and go to the gym again the next day. Okay? And yeah, that's like a simple example. But keep in mind that your resistance phase might not just look like one day. It might look like a week and a half of you not doing this. So remember to address the emotion. If you're feeling bad about yourself and you're like, fuck, I'm in the resistance phase again. You can't, like, no, girl, no, you're in the resistance phase. It's part of it. That is part of it. Like, that's a phase. You knew this was coming. Don't assign a moral value to this phase. Don't assign it bad or good. It's just a fact. Just let it be. Okay, fuck. Like, these are different circumstances. That doesn't mean it's bad or good. That just means it's different. So our approach needs to be different. Okay? And I know that being in the resistance phase can be scary, but I'm begging you on my hands and knees, you have to remind yourself that it's not. Because, okay, remember when I was saying like initial motivation, like if it's like an unhealthy thing, it can be like a super crazy rush of emotions. Yeah. Well, if you're in the resistance phase and you have a super crazy rush of emotions, it is gonna like freak you the fuck out. Like it's gonna, instead of you being like, okay, wait, I planned for this, you're gonna be like, fuck, I'm fucking this up again. You're gonna fast track yourself to the breaking point. Like that's what you're gonna do. So chill out. It's fine. You're good. This is part of it, okay? And you have literally every tool under the sun that you need to take care of this, okay? The less pressure that you can put on yourself, the better, okay? Like, that's just what it is. And that's the thing. Like, that's why when I crash out, okay? When I crash out publicly, which I've done probably my whole life, so fucking sorry if you knew me in high school, Jesus Christ. But like, seriously, like that's what I've done my whole life. And I honestly don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't care. If I publicly crash out, that's how I process emotions. Sorry, but that's like who I am. So like, why would I put more pressure on myself? Like, you know what I mean? Like, emotions are emotions. We have to let them be. They might feel bad. They might feel good, but that doesn't mean they're like necessarily like bad or good. They're all telling us something. They're all tools. So if you do end up, freaking yourself out, that it doesn't mean it's over. It just means you have to take another pause, and you can pause over and over again. That's the thing. If you're in the resistance phase, you don't have to go to the breaking point. If you're in the resistance phase and you go back to initial motivation, then you go back and then you go back and then you go back and then you go back, like if you switch between those two things, that's not a failure. You know what I'm saying? Like, going through hard parts of your journey is not a failure. It's actually literally a good thing, because if you think about your journey from start to finish, it isn't like your journey stops when you hit resistance. You keep going through that resistance. It's just how long you decide to stay in the resistance that matters, right? Like, once you see that you're in the resistance, you can be like, oh, okay, wait, hold up. Let me go back to like feeling good about this. Let me regroup, all that kind of shit. Basically, you want your change cycle to simply be 2 steps instead of 4. And like, maybe you could keep recovery in there too, like whatever, but like, you want to go to motivation, resistance, because you can come back from resistance. But once you get to the breaking point, you need a fucking second. You need to take recovery. And also, I will say, it's very important to understand that if you're healing your change cycle and you go from initial motivation to resistance and you keep going through that over and over and over again, and then you hit a breaking point and you do have to do the recovery, that's also not a loss. That is simply life, girl. Like, that is simply life. You are going to hit breaking points sometimes. Like, oh, fuck, I forgot my meds for 3 days. Bitch, if I'm off my meds for 3 days, I hit a fucking breaking point, okay? There's really nothing I can do about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's only so much you can control. And what you can control is how you react to things. That's fucking it. Like, that's really it. Like, obviously you can control a plan and you can control how you react to things. That's fucking it. That's it. You can only control so much. So just do what you can with what you can, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Okay, hold on. Can I say something and have you not hate me? Because it's going to be kind of harsh, but I need to say it. Some of y'all need to fucking hear this. I'm so sorry. Some of y'all do not know how to emotionally regulate yourselves in the ways that you think you do. Some of you, allow yourself to crash out far more than you need to. There comes a point, like, yes, of course, feel your feelings, but there comes a point where you're catastrophizing the fuck out of a situation that you simply don't need to be. And like I said, like, feel your feelings. That's all fine and good. But there comes a point where you need to snap out of it. Like, you have to parent yourself and be like, okay, yes, my emotions are valid. Like, I feel what I'm feeling, but I can't sit here forever. And I know that this is true because I have done it myself for years at a time. Okay. There came a point where I was simply deciding to sit in the emotion because that's all I knew and that's what was comfortable. And that meant I didn't have to take action. Like, of course, these are all things that I figured out afterwards. Like, I wasn't consciously thinking, oh, I'm just going to stay sad because I don't want to do anything. Like, that's not what it is. But when you're in those emotions, if you don't have the skill of being able to say enough's enough, I don't know what I can help you with. I don't know what you can really do. If you don't do this already, you need to learn. And the thing is, it's not about feeling ready. It's about forcing yourself to move on. Okay? I know that sounds harsh, but it is true. You cannot allow yourself to sit in a depressive state forever. And this is coming from someone diagnosed with major depressive disorder. I'm not saying that mental illness is a choice. That's fucking crazy. What I'm saying is that there comes a point where you are allowing it to become worse than it needs to be. And you need to be able to identify that within yourself. And the only way you can do that is just by kind of fucking deciding to be enough, like done with it. And this is the part where I really need you to trust me because it sounds like impossible. Like, it really does. Like, when my therapist was telling me this shit, I was like, girl, fuck you. You have no idea what I'm going through. And like, I don't know what you're going through. I have no idea what it is. But try it. At a point when you're sick and tired of feeling the way that you're feeling, decide to be happy. I know, there's such a fucked up connotation when it comes to saying something like that. Like I said, I'll say it over and over again. It's coming from someone with major depressive disorder, PTSD. I'm not fucking around, okay? I'm not somebody who like minimizes mental illness. But there comes a point when enough's enough. And you have to decide to look at things a different way. Okay? So just try it. And if it doesn't work the first time, keep fucking trying. If it doesn't work the first 20 times, I'm so sorry, queen. You're gonna have to keep trying because guess what? Nothing else is gonna get you there. Sorry, but nothing, like you just sitting in sad until it's not sad anymore rarely works. Like, sometimes you just need to pull yourself out of it. And if you have somebody else who can pull you out of it, that's amazing. I love leaning on a support system, of course. But at the end of the day, as adults, it is our responsibility to emotionally regulate ourselves. So it's a good muscle to build. That's all I'm saying. It's just like if you're going through a breakup and you're telling yourself like over and over again, oh my God, like I'm never going to get over this person. Like, oh my God, my life will never be the same. How do you think you're going to get over that person if you keep telling yourself that your life is over? You're not. Spoiler alert. It's only when you start to allow yourself to think things like, maybe the world is bigger than this person. Maybe I actually want something different. That's when you start to feel better because you are directing your thought process in a positive way rather than allowing yourself to sit in a negative one. I know, easier said than done, duh. But you have to understand like how deeply what you're saying to yourself and how you're allowing yourself to think will affect you. Because think about it in the change cycle, right? If you're in the resistance phase or even the breaking point phase and you're telling yourself, oh my God, like I did this again. Like I just can't do this. That's a big thing to say. Language matters. The things that you say to yourself matter so much. That's why I'm never, ever gonna sit here and say I'm ugly. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't give a fuck if I feel like shit one day. I really, really don't, because language matters. The things that you tell yourself matter. Okay? They will, as soon as you tell yourself that you're not good at something, the chances that you have for being confident in that thing go down, obviously. So why wouldn't you tell yourself, it's okay, it's fine, I can get right back on track, it's fine. Even if you don't believe it right away, you saying that has so much more of a positive outcome than you being like, I fucked up again. Language matters. Yeah, that's whatever. That's going to be a whole fucking different episode, but language matters. Be kind to yourself and Put yourself in a positive mindset. You have more control over that than you think you do. And hey, I'm going to beat a dead horse. This actually also applies to speaking about yourself in front of other people. I don't give a fuck if your friends are insecure. You better be saying that you're good at something because you're good at it. Because if it's one thing to be like, oh yeah, like I'm good at this. And it's another thing to claim it in front of people. When you can claim it in front of people and stop giving a fuck how that sounds to another person, which by the way, if you're a woman or you're femme presenting in the fucking slightest, you have been taught to shrink yourself. You're allowed to say you're good at something because you are. And if that makes somebody else upset, that is literally all because of their own insecurity, okay? You are not responsible for that person's insecurities. You should be able to claim your successes. You should be able to be proud of that. And if you do that, it will, I promise you, make you so much more confident. So that's another step you can take, a farther step you can take if you want to. And also, like, if you're minimizing these things, you are subconsciously telling yourself that you are not worthy. You are not good enough to claim it. What the fuck? Sorry, but like it really does go that deep. Like, I know y'all want to say, oh, it's not that deep, it's not that deep. It almost every single fucking time absolutely is. Okay? Anyway. I know that was a lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot of feeling, but it's all super important. I am saying all of this to say that you have so much more control over like your life than you think you do. And it's just about planning for things that are literally going to come up. Okay. So anyway, change cycle, think about it. Just think about it. The more you're aware of it, the easier it becomes. The more practice that you have in this, the easier it becomes. The more serious and intentional you are about this, the easier it will be. But now that you've started to think about it, now that it is in the forefront of your mind, the next time you try to change something about your life or you try to implement a new hobby or a new skill or a new this, you will notice it. And you're now one step closer. It really is like one step at a time, okay? You can't do it all at once. One step at a time. There's no need to rush. It's like learning to fly or falling in love. You know what I mean? Okay, so breaking point. Let's talk about it. Honestly, I will say I really don't, sorry, but like I don't really know if there's much value at looking at the breaking point while it's happening because there's already so much going on. I typically look at the breaking point after it happens so I can look at it with a clear mind and be like, okay, what actually went down here? You know, it's really all about reflection and it's all about not judging yourself. It's all about like really honestly like doing some nice ass self-talk and being like, you know what? Yeah, that was hard. Like, I understand why that was hard for you. Like you telling yourself this, I understand why that was hard. Like, I understand why like things went to shit. Like fucking, of course they did. You were dealing with this, and this, but that's okay. Let's just regroup, you know? The more shame you can take out of it, the faster you can get over it and the easier the recovery stage is. A healthy recovery stage looks like being kind to yourself. And it looks like taking the time you need to take. And it looks like knowing that the recovery stage and like the breaking point, all of that is part of the process. It is not something that you fucked up. It is literally part of the cycle. It's part of changing. It's pushing through that. That's all you need to do. It's really not that deep. You literally, if you are mean to yourself in this fucking recovery, I'll come and find you. I swear to God, because sorry, that's a little threatening. But no, seriously though, like there's no point in putting shame out there. Genuinely. I don't care if you think you're being disciplined. I don't care if you think you're just like giving yourself tough love. This is not the time. Okay? The time for you to give yourself tough love is when you're looking at your situation and you're being real with yourself about what you did wrong. That's when you can give yourself tough love. The common theme here basically is that if you have the intense emotions of like the initial motivation, fucking even resistance, definitely breaking point, and sometimes even recovery, like all of those things have the potential to come with high emotions. The key here is to take those emotions and transmute them into something else. You can transmute it into planning. You can transmute it into taking action. You can transmute it into being inspired to take yourself to the next level. Emotions are a tool not only to tell you what's going on in your body and what your like mind is doing, but it's also a tool to move you along, that's energy. You can use that energy. You can use that energy for good. Okay. Honestly, some of this tea is just genuinely knowing that you're equipped, because here's my tea. I live in Chicago, right? My car, sorry about it, but she's not the most bougie car you've ever seen. She doesn't have the best suspension you've ever seen. Okay. That bitch goes over a pothole and it could be a problem. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I'm not going to stop driving. You know, I'm not going to like, as soon as I hit a pothole, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, I can never do this again. I'm going to be like, you know what? Let me listen. Hold on. Let me assess. Let me see. Is this an emergency? No, we're probably good. And if it is an emergency, I know how to change a tire. We're good. We're going to get back on the road. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You are equipped to deal with anything life has thrown your way. Hate to say it, girl, but literally look at where you are now. Still alive, clearly, because you're listening to this. So you did make it through. Maybe not in the way that you thought you would, but you did. So let's fucking take a second. Okay, let's take a second and recap what we have learned, because we're nearing the end of our time together. Okay, so just to reflect, unhealthy change cycle versus healthy change cycle. Unhealthy change cycle gives, oh my God, I can conquer the world in 30 days, in 30 seconds. Actually, don't even fuck with me. I can do whatever I want. Resistance is like, oh my God, it's happening again. Oh my God, of course this would happen to me right now. Breaking point, oh my God, I can't, like, just completely losing control, not doing anything, having a fucking breakdown, whatever. And then recovery being like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it again. I just like can't fucking ever do this. I can't do anything right. Terrible, unhealthy, obviously. Healthy change cycle would be, oh my God, I'm so excited to start this. Okay, wait. Let me pour my energy into making a pretty good plan. Let me start right now, feel really good about it. And then I save that emotion for the next day. So I keep wanting to feel it. Resistance, healthy resistance looks like, okay, something's changing. Okay, hold on. This means I need to regroup. Let me take a second. Let me take a step back. Let's see how I can get back on track. If a breaking point does happen, healthy way to deal with that is to just let it happen. Just allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to crash out if you need to, and don't judge yourself for it, because that's what being human is. Healthy recovery looks like, you know what? Okay, yeah, that was hard actually. And I see why I did that. I'm not mad at myself for it. However, I do think I know what to do next time to make sure that doesn't happen again. And then resting, giving yourself a second to recoup and take a break. It's fine. Breaks are allowed. And then jump back into it with a healthier mindset. So that is unhealthy versus healthy. Okay. So how's everybody feeling? Lock in. Vibe check. What are we doing? What are we feeling? Are we feeling good? I know I'm feeling good. I had a great time hanging out with you guys. I have, like I said, I've been so excited to do this podcast for so long. So I'm so happy that it is finally out there and finally yours. But before we end, I want to do our first little advice section. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Okay, let's start. First question says, I want to reinvent myself, but I'm worried people will think I'm being fake. How do you know when it's time to change versus when you should just stick it out? Okay, very good question. I love this question. How do you know when it's time to change versus when you should just stick it out? If you feel like you want to change, do it. Literally do it immediately. I'm sorry. Okay. If you want to I am always going to be a big fan of like doing what the fuck you feel like you need to do. Here's my tea. Okay, guys, I'm 27. I'm still young. Okay. But guess what? No matter what age you are, you can reinvent yourself, and only you have a say over that. I don't give a fuck if somebody else thinks you're fake. If they think you're fake, that is how they perceive what change is. That's how they perceive what like a rebrand is. This is like the same type of person who like listens to an artist and then the artist evolves for their next album and they don't sound like they've always sounded like, and they're like, oh my God, this bitch switched up. No, they're evolving. Okay. And the fact that Miss Ariana Grande evolved into Not Honeymoon Avenue and now like Eternal Sunshine, like, yeah, girl, she grew up. Okay. Like she was not always going to stay the same. And if you have a problem with that, guess what? She don't give a fuck. She's going to keep on growing. And that's what I'm going to need you to do. You are the person who has say over that. No one else. And yeah, are some people going to have to re-meet you? And are you going to have to reintroduce yourself to some people? Yes. But you're allowed to do that. Here's my tea. I used to be a people pleaser, the house on boots Versace. It was bad, bitch. And I had some people who really thought that they could try me after I changed and after I started putting boundaries up. And I said, oh, you don't know who I am anymore. Yeah, that doesn't fly anymore. I'm not doing that. And how they react to that is not my responsibility. It isn't. If they want to stick around, that's fine. If they don't, that means they're not aligned with who I am now, and that's okay. I'm going to find people who are more aligned with my new version of myself, and it's going to feel better than it ever has. And I'm speaking that from experience. Okay. I've lost a lot of friends, gained a lot of new ones, lost a lot of relationships, gained a lot of new ones. And every single time after my evolution, the people I met after that fit better into my life. Okay. So hopefully that helps. Let's go to the next one. Oh my God. Okay, wait, guys, this one is low-key bad. Okay, I accidentally liked my ex's vacation pic from 2018 while creeping on their Insta. What do I do? Ugh, girl, I'm so sorry. You may just have to ride that one out. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I've been there. I've done that. I remember there was this one girl that my ex had talked to and like lied about, which was shitty. And so I kind of, in my insecure days, got really obsessed with this bitch and would like stalk her profile from time to time. And the last time I ever did it, I liked one of her pictures, probably also from like 2019, like super early. And I was like, fuck. Okay. I really do kind of just have to own that. Like, I really do. Like, I'm going to block her. Like, hopefully she didn't see me do that. But like, damn, it did teach me like, girl, you probably shouldn't be looking at this anyway. Like, I hate to say this, girl, but it's like almost, I don't want to say deserved, but it's like, it checks us being like, damn, we shouldn't have been doing that anyway. It's not that deep. It really is not that deep. Either make a Finsta. Just kidding. Don't do that. Don't stalk your ex's profile. It is literally 9 times out of 10 just gonna make you feel worse about yourself. And if it's gonna make you feel better about yourself, it's probably coming from like a pretty shallow place. Okay? That's just my opinion. Oh, this next one's gonna piss me off. I'm dating a girl who still has her ex's hoodie in her closet. She swears it's not a big deal, but I feel like it is. Yeah, bitch. It is. I'm sorry, I really don't play about exes. Like, I've seen it happen far too many times. Like, if someone has, I'm sorry, I like really don't give a fuck. That is such a strict boundary of mine. Like, if you, like, what is that? Why do you need that? Be honest. You can buy a new fucking hoodie. Like, be so fucking for real. Like, you are holding on to pieces of this person. And if we are in a whole ass relationship, girl, that's absolutely not gonna fucking fly. I would honestly, okay, this is probably not what you're gonna want to hear, but I have to tell you, I would sit down with her and be like, this is not okay. And this is like a hard and fast rule for me. Like, you don't need to be holding on to like any of your ex's shit. I need you to donate it, give it back, or like you need to get rid of it somehow, because this is not okay. And it's disrespectful to me because we are in a relationship. Like, and there's not, like, you really shouldn't have to fucking explain it. It's honestly quite self-explanatory. I would do that. And if she reacts in anything other than, you're right, I'm so sorry, like, this is probably inappropriate, that is not a healthy place for you to be. And I hate to tell you this, but I would tell you to leave her. I really would, because it's just like, that's just not okay. It just doesn't sit right with me to be holding on to mementos of a previous relationship. That's just weird as fuck to me. If anything is related too hard to an ex, I really do see that as such a red flag, because like, yes, of course, I know you had a life before me. Duh. But like, I'm your girl now. And if you're not respecting me as such, you're not gonna have me as your girl. You should be worshiping the fucking ground I walk on. I worship the ground you walk on. So what the fuck is going on here? You can't worship two bitches at the same time. Okay? And if you want to worship two bitches at the same time, be poly or leave me alone. Sorry, that's just what it is. So yeah, I do think it is a big deal. I think you're incredibly valid in that. I would clock that shit as soon as you possibly can. And if she has a problem with it, I get up and leave. You do not want to get farther and farther into a relationship with somebody who still has something for their ex. That's a fucking recipe. Oh my God. Like, that's a recipe for... I'm not going to get into it. It's a recipe for disaster. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. That's it for the advice portion. We are still starting out, so I only had a few, but if you have any questions that you want to ask, feel free to email me at realdeepproductions@gmail.com, or at the link in my bio on any social media platform. I have a Google form. So send it over, tell me your tea, bitch, and I will help you in any way that I can. Okay. Love you guys so much. This was the best. I'll see y'all next week. Okay. Bye. If you don't come get your fucking dog so I can record. Do you hear her? She's in distress.